Sammy, what are you doing, silly? Oh, okay. Bye.
Yes! Opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what just came over me. I swapped this fuel pump in, got it all plumbed in the way I need to, cracked it off, and kind of dog walked through the problems. And Jesus Christ, it's all right. So I've got a lot more to do in here, but I've just lined out the regulator and rerouted some stuff, tightened up some fuel lines. These are just test runs. Once I get this thing kind of dialed, I've reset the floats, or at least try to make an effort. We're gonna give her a shot and start her up. It's been a hell of a year, but we're gonna try to do this a little different this year. I Around the end of summertime, we got ourselves a motorcycle, and at the beginning of summer, we got ourselves a dog that ended up being 70 plus pounds of intensity. Um, yeah, so what I'm really saying here, folks, is we're trying to do better. We're trying to master lighting situations so it looks cooler. And in this episode, I'm gonna kind of run you down, I guess, the motorcycle. We'll do that, and I've got some stuff to look at. So stay tuned. We're gonna get into my new to me 2021 Royal Enfield Himalayan 411. You'll see in different places, Himalayan makes statements about being the oldest motorcycle in production. That's just not true, because Peugeot is still in production, and they, I guess, have like a 3-year head start. Anyway, stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. If you're seeing me for the first time in a long time, that's because I haven't done a lot of videos in a long time. And it's going into the fall and winter season where things slow down, and I've got a little bit more time. I'll be fighting weather, but this weekend looks good, and we'll try to do something. But first, introduce you to Sam. And Sam is he's a cattle dog. He's a border collie. He's a Australian Shepherd mix. And you know, one of his favorite things to do is kind of protect this ball or that ball or that ball or that ball, but mostly this ball. And you know, if you're not playing soccer with him, he's laying next to it whining about it. So as an example, well, I kicked it too far and now he's already whining about it. Guess I better go help him out. So it's been a busy summer, like I said. We'll get into the motorcycle here in a minute, but I just want to kind of build up some framework for the video that we're going to do. Most of the summer was been about kind of like making sure that Sam kind of worked himself into the family dynamic. And, you know, he has. He's waiting for me to throw his ball. Come on, buddy. I did it again. I kicked it up behind the stupid propane cylinder. But in any case, this is his favorite thing to do. And oh shit. I got it. I stepped in your poop, dude. I know. Yeah, got myself in a bind this summer trying to get into this motorcycle. Well, we did get into it, and just recently I've been able to peel away, you know, $10 at a time to save some money here and there towards it. And just a quick once over. Still got the stock tires. They're tired, no pun intended. It's just a single cylinder thumper, as they say. This is just like a medium weight or lightweight ADV, very underpowered, about 25 horse. This one may have a little more than that because it's got a decent intake. Got the hard panniers, which are the side bags. And anyways, what I did get is a new headlight. Just yeah. Well, I got a burn pile that's kicked off at my neighbor's house, probably 100 yards off our property line, and he's got a bunch of property. He's got like a, I don't know, anyways, big property line that we share. He's at the top of it, I'm at the bottom of it, and I think we got a little fire kicking off from some work that happened a couple days ago. It doesn't seem like it's real dangerous, but I can't seem to get a hold of my neighbor, so I'm kind of at an impasse here. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. They're I think they're a retired couple, just maybe 10 years or so older than me. They've got a lot of activity there usually. Yeah, I just not real sure what to do there. It's just a little disconcerting because there is no water available down there, and I'm the closest water resource. So unless somebody goes over there and starts trying to like spread it out, get it to kind of burn itself out and actively manage it, it's going to end up into a situation where I've got to go with the water I've got and do it myself. I just hate feeling like I'm being nosy. I know he's got, maybe it's relatives or people, just whatever, contractors over there doing stuff on and off, but I've hollered that way, good morning, to try to get somebody's attention. Sarah said that maybe somebody was sleeping in the little micro home or whatever, and I'm not sure about that. Don't know. So we'll see. I'm just gonna watch it, I guess, this morning. So, for context, like that rock above my propane and those old fence posts is our shared property line. And if you walk down here, he's got a road cut along the left that kind of squirrels back. And back in those trees that are just starting to turn color here this fall, there's like a little, mini home setup he's got with a trailer. And as I come into view here, you can kind of see, and maybe I'll put some pictures in from before. It looks like it might be going out at this point, but you can see that there is something going on up there. I just feel like I'm being super nosy, but good morning. So yeah, I hear them over there when they're working and stuff, and even if they got rough and rowdy last night, like they'd be up by now. It's almost 11. I tried to call him. I sent him a text with a picture, and I'm just, I guess, keeping an eye on it. I'm on fire watch duty out here. We'll see what happens next. But yeah, it's off roughly there. You can see this post. It runs out to, see that clearing out there is like my property line. My property goes beyond that hill, but that's the shared line. And this is at the ass end of his property, and as you can see, he's got a road kind of cut up. You see those 3 pine trees? Well, he's up kind of behind that, a whole other, I don't know, 100 meters or so. And before I forget, I need to preface all this with the fact that the only reason I even think that that might be an issue is because I definitely know that they were cutting and gathering and burning a pile 2 days ago. And I always hear them come up and down the road because this is effectively my backyard. So they kind of, they skirt by that property line there. Literally right behind this propane tank, there's a road. And so I know that there's not been anybody down there for 2 days. I know that they were burning 2 days ago. And so that's my evidence. I think that this is a little bit of a re-kick, so to speak. I will say that it wasn't burning the last few days, and that I haven't heard anybody. I know that a few days ago they were listening to talk radio the day before Thanksgiving, and it was so loud that I asked them to turn it down, and they could hear me from here ask that, and they did turn it down. And then it was like an hour or so later they peeled out of here. Not peeled, but they left. I just feel like that nosy guy. But I'm up here in, like the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas, and it's important because this stuff burns down. In fact, some of my property burned down the year before I bought it. In fact, I probably got a little bit of a discount. But throughout this whole valley, the Caldor fire jumped and hopped all the way down after kicking off up the valley. And anyways, so fires are crazy out here. You can see in our yard this tree that's dead out here with its top on the side there on the ground. That was an old burn scar. In fact, I still need to get that out of our visual way. I need to cut that down. I did quite a bit of cleanup that first summer out here. There was a bunch of this kind of scrubby stuff, whether it was scrub oak or madrone, or even just this stuff, kind of older versions of this new green stuff. We had to cut a bunch of it out. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm concerned, and I guess I'm rightfully nosy, but that's the preface, is that I know they were burning a few days ago, and they were making a ruckus about it with coming in and out, and just chopping and using saws. And I don't think there's anybody over there, and there's a little fire, and this valley burned down 4 years ago or something. Well, he did. He finally got back to me. Said he wasn't in town. Said nobody was there. Said he was going to send his son over. And the last time I checked, it was starting to actually die down a little bit. And we then tuned out on it, I guess. And then later on, I heard a guy come down, and then it's out. But that's man. Before I get lost on what we were gonna try to do, 2021 Himalayan. I didn't get the damn headlight in because the ad was mislisted on eBay. It's just a standard traditional 7-inch. And hey Sammy. Any case, I did get the little KG rock protector thing on there. I've taken the windscreen off of it, and this is it. This is my bike, and I've been riding it around up here in the woods through basically since September-ish. And yeah, it's pretty good. It runs pretty good. Just kind of a standard thing. I was able to move some of my bullet point stuff over to a collar mount for the phone, and I'm gonna get some stuff for like maybe an Insta360, and we'll take some video. But let's talk for a minute about the Chevy, because earlier in the video I had gotten it running on this new system, and then came back a few days later after kind of doing some cheap setup on the carb, and it just wouldn't run right. So it was another couple days or whatever before I could get my head around it and the time to even try to do something. It makes a lot of noise. I gotta kind of make sure the dogs are put away, so on and so forth. And long story short, I know the bed of it's covered with my stuff right now. It's because I'm a little bit frustrated. Long story short, directly below the bulkhead here that I made, there's a leak at the fitting setup that 90s and runs up the frame rail. But so it was sucking air, and that is a new leak. So I'm gonna have to remake that setup. It's a AN6 fitting, or 6AN, however you want to say it. I think it's Army Navy. It was like anyways, that's a whole other video I could break out. But I was smart, and I had valved this system. So I mean, literally the leaks, not on the top side, but on the other side of the bed of the truck, on the bottom side of the bulkhead, and it's on the supply line, so it was just sucking in some air. I'm already on a mechanical pump, which kind of, has a hard time supplying like the baseline pressure that's required by the brawler. And I'm at this place where it's just I've got to fix that line. I've got all of this vacuum stuff to replace. I've got to actually, I figured out that this thing I thought was like not going to work because it wasn't providing enough baseline pressure to get through the regulator and satisfy it. But come to find out, and I may still be wrong, I guess you have to prime those regulators. Yeah, don't worry. We'll get back to that eventually. But in the interim, I did have it running off just the mechanical fuel pump through a couple filters, and I was getting about, I don't know, initially I was getting like 4 to 6 pounds, which was perfect for this carb. And then that thing started sucking air, and I ran out of gas, and it got me chasing my tail, so on and so forth. And we got a new work rig, LTZ 2500. It's a 2023 with a Duramax. Great truck. It's a little oversprung for me right now. I don't have enough weight in it to make it comfortable yet. But I've never had a Duramax. I really like the power in this thing. The torque curve on this Duramax is impressive. Looks like I need some attention to my brakes there. I've got quite a bit of dust piling up. Long story short, new work rig. It threw me completely off this summer because my mileage and everything for El Sierra just ceased completely. So this thing's now become like this absolute incredible liability for me. Hello. So come bonus time at the turn of the year, we're going to sell this and try to get out of it with the least amount of upside down damage that we can. 2024 GMC Sierra Elevation 4x4 full tint, GMC wind and rain chingas on the windows. I got the AVS1 windshield strip. I've I've got some Wild Peak RT01s. It's the new Falcon line in stock size. Looks great. I threw a 1/2 inch hub centric spacer on here myself and torqued those down, so I gave it just a little bit of stance. But she's good. I had this thing loaded down with an overland rack, which I've since sold. And I think before I sell the truck, I'll end up doing a bed liner to clean up some of the roughage that I've caused, specifically over there where you can see a bunch of scrape up and stuff. And I had this loaded down with a bad dump run that sat in here too long and caused a little bit of paint damage. So I may bedline this. I may just bedline the bottom, which would be kind of an interesting idea. Might pop a little bit, leave the white. That's an interesting thought. I could get away with kind of rolling it in myself. Looks like I got a little bit of dent action in that. So I mean, this thing has worked. Yeah, what more can we say here, man? We're just trying to do things the right way. And right now the Chevy's got a little bit more work, so yeah. I've got to go through that thing from top to bottom. I've got to do the plugs. I've got to just frickin' drain the oil one more time. I've got to make sure that pan isn't leaking at the drain, because for some reason there's a crush washer on there, and I'm just lost. I don't know. Anyways, I guess that's the update, folks. Yeah, I guess that's the update. We're kind of just out here walking with the dogs. They don't feel very good. Charlie's been eating grass like a cow for the last 20 minutes, so that should always figure itself out on our carpet later. But hey, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. But really I needed to. I needed to step back and kind of figure out what I was doing. It's really hard to log these projects. Like, I'm way more interested in completing the project than I am in video logging the project's progress. I just want to get to the dopamine part where they're finished. Leave you watching Charlie and Sammy's ass walk off into the dusk there. Sammy likes to crowd Charlie, but Charlie's teaching him the ways on how to clear an upset tummy in the wild. Just get you some grass in your belly, he says. You'll be fine. Alright, folks. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll get back to some of this shit sooner than later. Lillian's car is needing probably at a minimum of 4 solid singular Joel hours of labor. You know, in retrospect, this was a cool little project, her Civic. It is alive. It's going to need a new battery. It's probably going to need like another fuel flush, or not fuel flush, another oil kind of flush and like system flush. I still need to bleed the coolant off. I've got all that yet to do. But mainly I've just got this simple little oil seal piece that kind of robbed me of the finish line. And we'll get that done. You know what I mean? It's a clean little Civic 01, Honda Civics LX. Obviously it's a sedan, but she is the 5-speed. And I've driven this car. It's not a bad car. It's got new suspension. Not necessarily top of the line, not necessarily bottom of the barrel, but decent little suspension. Picked up some cheap little crackhead wheels and tires. If you haven't seen these videos, folks, there's a whole series on the Honda. I've done a couple on the Sierra as well, kind of during its build. Hold on, I gotta holler at Charlie. Yeah, Sammy runs back immediately. Charlie's about 56 to 60 or so in dog years. Not a lot I can do about his speed. He's got bad ears or selective hearing. His position's been disturbed quite a bit by this guy, to be quite honest. And Sam loves him. There's no like ill intent here. Just Sam adores him and smothers him, but really it just ends up kind of being Charlie displacement. Nobody likes to see a little Charlie displacement. Everybody wants to see Charlie win. Charlie, come win, buddy. All right, folks. Holla next time.